Hi, and welcome to the Grizzly Industrial Joiner Safety Training video. This video will take you through a brief overview of the proper use and safety guidelines relating to this machine. This machine has three major functions in our shop, which include A. Face jointing, B. Edge jointing, and C. Squaring up posts. Let's go over face jointing first. When dealing with very rough and uneven wood, the jointer can be used to joint the face or flat edge of the board so as to create a perfectly flat face. This then makes it possible to run through a planer with the jointed flat edge facing down, making the opposite side perfectly parallel. This leaves you with a board that has consistent thickness and flat surfaces throughout. It should be noted, however, that you should never attempt this process without the use of proper push pads. This procedure can be very dangerous if not done with extreme care. Also, keep in mind that our wood is nearly always sufficiently flat as it arrives directly from the mill or from being run through our molding machine so as to make this step unnecessary. The second and most common use of this machine is to joint the edge of a board so as to create a very straight ruler edge in preparation for gluing multiple pieces together into a larger panel. It is also often necessary to take out the bow of an edge, making it possible to cut or plane the other side parallel. This will leave you with a nice straight board to work with. Another thing this machine is useful for is to create square corners on posts, which can then be run through a planer on the opposite edges, creating a perfectly square post on all four sides, preparatory to be run on the lathe. Okay, so now that we know what this machine is used for, before starting the machine, it is important that we do a quick inspection of the machine and the workspace around it. The machine table should not have a lot of sawdust buildup. If there is, this could indicate a clog in the dust collection path that needs to be cleared out before operation. The blades that are within your cutting path should be sufficiently sharp and free of damage. Check to make sure there is nothing in the path of your workpiece when jointing. Be sure there is nothing on the floor that could cause you to slip or trip over. Check to make sure the guide fence is square with the tabletop. Check to make sure the guard is installed and working properly. Check power cords and dust collection pipe for proper connection and/or damage. Don't forget to wear the proper PPE or personal protective equipment. This machine requires the use of authorized hearing protection and safety glasses. Loose clothing, loose hair, loose gloves, or loose jewelry should not be worn. You should be wearing shoes that cover your feet completely and have good traction. Alright, let's now take a quick look at how to make adjustments to the machine if necessary. Adjusting the guide fence. The guide fence can be adjusted by loosening the black holding levers on top of the machine and near the back. This allows adjustment to the angle as well as the ability to slide the fence across the table so as to utilize different areas of the blade for jointing the edge. Adjusting the infeed and outfeed table. To adjust the infeed table, simply loosen the wheel lock knob in the center of the adjustment wheel located on the front right side of the machine. Then rotate the adjustment wheel to the right to raise the table and to the left to lower the table. To adjust the off-feed table, follow the same procedure on the left adjustment wheel found on the front of the machine. The out-feed table should be set so that it matches the highest point in which the cutter knives will travel. The in-feed table is what determines the amount of wood the jointer will remove with each pass. The standard for our shop should be set so that the machine takes off exactly 1/16 of an inch with each pass. If you change this setting, please return the machine to the proper setting after your task is complete, as this standard is often taken into account when fellow employees are prepping their wood for the jointer. The guard. The guard is designed to maintain full coverage over the exposed blade that is not utilized in cutting the actual workpiece. If the spring is not holding the guard tight against your workpiece, or if it is damaged in any way, do not operate this machine. Notify a qualified technician to remedy the problem immediately. Okay, now we can turn the machine on. The machine is turned on by simply pushing the green button on the operation panel. If it does not work, check the emergency stop button to make sure that it is not engaged and then try again. If you hear strange noises or suspect damage to the machine, notify certified personnel to perform maintenance on this machine using the proper lockout procedures. To turn off, simply push the emergency stop button in. Now that the machine is ready for operation, let's go over how to properly feed the board through the machine so as to prevent injury and finish with a proper joint. We'll start out by going over the proper hand position for feeding a board through the machine. The left hand should be placed at the front end of the workpiece and will be used to hold the workpiece tight against both the work table and the guide fence. Place the left thumb on top of the workpiece and use the remaining fingers to get good stabilization of the workpiece. The right hand will be used to push the piece through the machine, as well as to assist the left hand in keeping the workpiece tight against the work table and guide fence. Place the right thumb on top and at the back end of the workpiece and close the other fingers. Push the workpiece forward with the edge of the pointing finger knuckle. Creating a habit of using this hand position lowers the chance of possible injury significantly, as the fingers are kept at a safe distance from the blade during joint follow-through. Begin the cut by holding the workpiece flush and down tight against the feeding table. As the front of the board makes its way onto the outfeed table, the primary focus should then be to keep the board tight and flush against the outfeed table until the whole board is jointed. Of course, the guide fence should be utilized during the whole cut to assure a square joint. After running the joint, inspect the edge for a smooth surface, free of chips and divots that could interfere with production quality standards. Take note that if you have a problem with continually chipping on a certain piece, often rotating the board and running it again will remedy the problem, as the wood grain path can sometimes have an effect on the joint. Also keep in mind that running the workpiece too quickly can affect the quality of the joint and also lead to possible injury. Feed your board at a steady and comfortable speed. If you have issues with divots showing up on the feeding or trailing edge of the board, this could be due to improper feeding technique or possibly the need for work table calibration. If adjustments need to be made, contact competent personnel for assistance. That completes this short training presentation. Thank you for watching, and be sure to go over a quick hands-on training exercise with a qualified trainer after this video. Never seek to operate this machine on your own until both you and your trainer feel comfortable you are to do so.